Welcome back to the GCSE Maths Pro YouTube channel. In this video, we will be looking through how to plot graphs. So we're going to start off with some straight line graphs. We are also going to look at the method that you can use if it comes up on your non-calculator paper, but also a quicker method if it does come up on your calculator paper. So here we just need to plot the graph of y equals 3x minus 2. I put a smaller table here because obviously there's quite a lot of coordinates there. Let's say we don't have our calculator though. You will always know the x coordinates because they should give you a table. If they don't, you can always draw your own table. And obviously you'll be able to see the graph. You'll know kind of for which range of x values you need to do it for. So all we need to do is then find the corresponding y coordinates. What y coordinates go with each of these x coordinates? Well, luckily we've got the equation with y as the subject. So it's just a case of substituting in the x values. So for example, let's start at minus 3. Obviously I'm going to replace where it says x with negative 3 and just work that out, which gives me negative 11. And then from there you can move on to the next one. You can do 3 multiplied by negative 2 minus 2, which should give me negative 8. Now there is a bit of a trick, and this only works for straight line graphs. Whatever your gradient is, which as we've said in other videos is the number in front of x as long as y is the subject, that will be the difference every time in the y coordinates as long as your x coordinates have a difference of 1. You can see it every time I'm going along by 1, aren't I? So that's fine. Do you see how negative 11 to negative 8, I'm just adding 3, positive 3. So yes, you can go through and substitute in all the values to double check if you want. Or you can go, let me just find out one value, and then I'll just add the gradient every time. Or if it's obviously a negative gradient, you would take it away. So this one here should be negative 5. Obviously where x is 0, that's the y-intercept, isn't it? So you can also copy that from your equation, negative 2, which you can see is a difference of 3. So that might help you if you've got quite a few to fill out. That's a little bit of a trick, so you don't have to literally substitute in every single one. And then plot it on your graph. Now in terms of x coordinates, my graph does go from minus 6 to 6, but you can see that some of them would actually be too big or too small. So I'm just going to start with the ones that actually do come up on my graph. You can see minus 1, minus 5. Obviously the y-intercept, 0, minus 2. 1, 1. And you can see we're creating a straight line here, aren't we? Should obviously come out as a straight line. 4, and then the next one would be 7, which is technically off the graph. And you can just fill the rest of it in with your ruler and just extend it so that it does reach each end of your grid. So the way that we can plot any graph without a calculator is you just substitute in the x values into the formula they've given you. But there was that little trick for when you have a straight line graph. I knew that this was going to be a straight line because the equation was in the format of y equals mx plus c, wasn't it? Which is a straight line. So I knew it was going to create a straight line, so I could start off by just working out one of the y coordinates and then adding the gradient every time if I wanted to make my life a little bit easier. I now have another example, which is also a straight line. I know it's written in a different order, but it is still an x and a y, isn't it, effectively? So it is still the same straight line format, but now I'm going to show you, if you have a calculator, what you can do to speed up the process. So grabbing my calculator, yours might look a little bit different to mine, so you might have to figure it out specifically on your calculator, but it should be something similar. I can create this table of values on my calculator. Now the way that I do it is I press mode or setup or whatever button, it might be called menu, and then I've got a list of things here. I just need to find the one that says table. Mine is number 7. I've got a different calculator where it's number 3, so it does change a little bit, but try and find the table. Then mine comes up with f of x equals. I know that others might also show you a second one like g of x or something else, but just use the one. F of x is another way of saying y. So I put it like this, f of x is equal to 4 minus x. That would be it. So I now just need to type in the actual equation. So 4, take away, and then x, mine is here. Can you see just above the bracket? But I have to press alpha, so you figure out where your x is. That's the equation, isn't it? 4 minus x. Okay, you can see here I've got a second one now. It says g of x. I don't want a second one, do I? I just want one equation, so I'm just going to keep pressing equals to skip. Now, it will ask you start. That means the start of your table or the start of your grid. We could always go with the grid if you want, because I know it's different to my table. So my starting value, let's just say minus 6. End is then obviously the other end, so let's say positive 6 just for my grid. And the step is the difference between the x values. So you can see normally it is 1, isn't it? But just double check. And now I've got a table. Now it is vertical instead of horizontal, but hopefully you can see if I scroll down, you can see how it says -6, and then the f of x, remember I said was y, so that means it's -6, 10, -5, 9, -4, 8, and then you can see -3, 7. So if I were to fill out this table here, I'd put a 7 here, and then you can just copy it. So -2, 6, -5, 1, -1, 5, 0, 4, obviously 4 being the y-intercept. And because I know it's a straight line, do you see how also we've got the same situation? The gradient here is technically -1, isn't it? Do you see how every time we're going down by 1, the difference is 1? Well, -1 specifically. So I can also go, okay, well that's obviously 3, 2, and 1, and so on. And then we can draw it on. -2, 6, -1, 5, 4. You can see where this is going to go. 3, 2, 1, and then I could also carry on to the end of my grid. So there's my line, I've plotted it. So you can do that if you have, obviously, a question on a calculator paper. It's a little bit easier than having to substitute in so many values. Now, the next one is, hopefully you can see, a quadratic graph. The reason why I want you to also recognise what type of graph it is by the equation is just so you've got an idea of when you're plotting it, what kind of shape it should make, so that then you know if you've maybe calculated one of the values wrong. So quadratics are normally a U shape. If they are a negative, so -x², it's kind of like an N shape, isn't it? Now in this case it was obviously positive, so I know it's going to be some kind of U shape. So at least I've got something to look out for. Now to show you without a calculator, I would have to substitute it all in, which is kind of annoying, isn't it? And also just be careful because now we've got some negatives that we're squaring as well, and we're having to substitute in x twice. So just be really careful if you are doing this on a non-calculator paper. So this I get +2. Now you can't make a jump every time. We can't use the same trick as a straight line graph because we don't have a gradient here. So you would have to work them all out individually. However, if you did want a trick for quadratic graphs, is they are symmetrical, aren't they? So once you find where that line of symmetry is, you can then copy the value. So what I mean by that is let's work out the next one. Obviously, if you just substitute in -2 squared plus 2 times -2, -1 should give you, for y, -1. And if I keep going along, the 0 is actually quite easy because the +c is also relevant to any graph. If you've got a number just on its own, that's where x is 0. So that one's -1. You can see now we've got a -1 and a -1. Let's work out our last one here, and then we can see where the line of symmetry is. So y is -2 here. Now, hopefully if you try and picture it, we've gone from, in terms of y, 2, -1, -2, back up to -1. So here, for this one, my line of symmetry is exactly here. So if you wanted to, you could obviously then just copy the 2. It would go back up again. If you've got more coordinates, you can copy those. Now, the other thing is then, if you want to just, on a calculator paper, use your calculator, we bring back our f of x, and now I'm going to type in this equation instead. So alpha, to get the x, squared, plus 2x, so just use the numbers as normal, -1, that's my equation, isn't it? And then ignore the second one, I don't want a second one. Starting at -6, ending at +6, the step is 1. So here's my table. So -6, it would be 23 for y, which is obviously way too big for my graph. -5 would be 14, -4 would be 7, so we're starting at -3, that's the first one that really comes onto my graph, isn't it? You can see -3 I've got 2, -2 I've got -1, -1 I've got -2, and then 0, -1, and then it goes back up. See how I'm going back up to 2. The next one it then says 7 and 14. So let's fill that out, 7 and 14. And then just plot them on. -1, -2, and then 0, -1. Back up to 2, so you can see that's where I've created that symmetry. Do you see how the line of symmetry is at literally -1, isn't it, here? And then obviously it goes on higher. The next one would technically be 7, so just to give myself a rough idea of where it is. I'm now going to draw a curve though. This is a curve, so don't use your ruler. Draw a curve with your pencil. So Something a bit like that. So just get rid of the bit that goes too high. Roughly a little bit like that. Normally it's some kind of sketch because obviously a curve is quite hard to replicate for everyone. But as long as you've got those coordinates, there you go. The next one is now a cubic graph again. Hopefully you can recognize we've got x cubed and it's positive. So cubic graphs are normally something a bit like this. Sometimes they can extend to be like this. But just so you've got a rough idea of what shape it will be, we can always, if you're not using a calculator, work out the plus c first. So where x is 0, that should be 1. So at least I've got one coordinate to start with. If I don't have a calculator, we're just repeating as before. We're going to substitute in the values. So we go -3. Don't forget any negatives there. That would give me -14, which I know is off my graph, but we can now move on to the next one. Well, let's use the calculator now. So type in your equation just as before, but obviously now we're copying the x cubed equation. -4x plus 1. Don't want a second equation, so skip that. And now obviously these are way too big, so I'm going to scroll down. You can see I've got -3, -14. That's what I got there, wasn't it? -2 is then 1. -1 is then 4. So 1, 4. You can see it's going up and then down again. The next one is then 0, 1. Which we've already written, that's our plus c. 1 minus 2, so going down again, and then 2, 1, and 3, 16, which is off the grid. So let's plot the ones that we have. -2, 1, -1, 4, 0, 1, 1, -2, 2, 1, and then technically that's 3, 16, so let's say we plot it right up there. This one we plot right down here so we can get a rough shape. Obviously do it with a pencil so you can try it again if you need to. Something a little bit like that, isn't it? Roughly, you can see it's a cubic shape as I predicted over here. Okay, so hopefully you can see it's kind of repetitive. At least if you do recognize the graphs from the equation, you know roughly what they should look like. And you can go, yeah, that seems about right. That seems fine. Okay, last question. We've now got plot the graph of y equals 2 over x, which is a reciprocal graph. So reciprocal graphs are like this. So we've got two parts to them. So at least we've got a rough idea of what it should look like. Obviously, substituting them in this case, a little bit easier, isn't it? So you've got 2 over -3, so that's just -2/3, isn't it, in that case? Y equals 2 over -2. Now that would simplify to -1, wouldn't it? Y equals 2 over -1, which would simplify to -2. Now, this is the one where when you substitute in 0, it becomes NA. There is no solution because you can't divide by 0. It's impossible. If I try and show you on here, do you see how I've got a math error? It doesn't let me do it. So there's just no coordinate for 0. So you can ignore that. That's why we've got these two separate lines, these two separate curves, because they can't go through where x is 0. 2 over 1 is obviously just then 2, isn't it? Y equals 2 over 2 is just 1. And the last one is just then 2/3. Now, again, you can do it in the calculator, that's fine. Just type in 2 over x. Ignore the second bit. We're starting at -6. We're ending at 6. Step is 1. And you can see, obviously they've not put it in a fraction as such, but that is -2/3. There we go. For -3, we've got -2/3. That's 0.666 recurring. -2, -1, we had that. -1, -2. And then you can see here 0, they've said error, like you just can't get that one. And so on. So yeah, you can type in any graph equation into this and it will give you a table of values. So now we can at least try to plot it just roughly because we've not got whole numbers as such. So for 6 we've got -1/3 and then -0.4, -0.5. Say 1/3 is about there. A little bit lower for the half, isn't it? -2/3. A little bit lower again, and then we're down to 1, -1. And then -2. So you can see it's kind of curving then, isn't it? And then we jump and we come here to 2, +2, +1, +2/3. And it's basically the same but from a positive side. There we go. So now I can plot it out. Something a bit like that. This side will keep going down more and more negative, but it will never cross through at 0. So it's effectively an asymptote. That's a line where your graph will never cross. So we'll get closer to it, but it will never cross. So do carry on your line to the bottom of the grid there, but don't cross through the axis. And then the same up here. This is also going to be close to the y-axis and then come down to my points. There we go. Technically, we've got an asymptote on the x-axis and on the y-axis, so they're getting close to both, but they never cross them. So we've plotted our reciprocal graph as well. So there are some tips and tricks on plotting graphs. The next video is then on sketching graphs, so not as accurate as plotting them, just roughly sketching them out and marking a few coordinates down. So if you found this video helpful, make sure to like and subscribe, and leave down below any questions or comments that you might have.